what is your guys' thought process on LeBron chasing it? And can two things be true? Can you still be the greatest player of all time, but still go to different places and chase that ring?
Well, I think most of us, especially in the basketball arena, most of us judge LeBron based on the guys that you just mentioned. And I'll throw one more guy in there, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, captain.
Goats.
And he got traded from Milwaukee to LA, right? So 2 teams in his whole career. MJ, 2 teams basically, in his whole career. So when you're judging LeBron, you're looking at the greatest players of all time and what they did at those organizations. They basically never left, right? So I think he gets judged pretty harshly because of the fact that he's bounced around. What is this, his 15, something like that? Cleveland, Miami. No, you got to come. Yeah, twice in Cleveland.
Twice in Cleveland.
Miami, the Lakers, and now Philly, right?
That's
Look at the history of the NBA. Most great players that are considered the greatest, even Will Chamberlain. Bill Russell, you start going down the line. Most of those guys play with one team, maybe 2.
Yeah.
So I think the standard that we're holding him up on is probably sometimes a little unfair because of the fact that, those guys, again, they make their own decisions. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And LeBron, like it or not, he's able to go to this team. But I think when you start to really kind of unravel everything, that's not what great players do.
Facts, B. Scott. We have to judge these players based upon the GOAT standard that's already been set by the guys who came before. The former greatest of all time have to set the standard for the next generation. And what we have done is let LeBron come in here and change the standards into a losing mentality type of standard. He's made it more into a participation award standard, not just chasing super teams and team hopping. You left Cleveland without winning any championships. Like you literally did the opposite of what everyone else did. And yes, other guys left, like he said, but jumping from 4 to 5, 6 teams, come on, bro. Like obviously those were the careers of guys who could not get a contract or who could not be consistent enough or who cannot be trusted by an organization. So they have to keep getting switched from team to team. Those guys who played on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams are usually guys that we have to call journeymen because they can't consistently find a role for themselves in the NBA. And I want y'all to stay locked in on this video because you're going to get a lot of wisdom, Kobe wisdom specifically from Byron Scott in this video, because there's a lot of goofy fans that argue with Byron Scott, but obviously you guys don't understand the significance of him to Kobe's career is just massive. So only real Kobe fans or basketball fans understand that. So basically when Byron Scott is talking, you need to shut up and listen. And that goes for all of us. Now, what I think a lot of you LeBron fans don't understand, that the reason why the NBA is popular is because teams were popular and the fans made the teams popular. The fans made the NBA popular. So catering to the fans has always been the number one thing that the players always made sure that they did, was cater to the fans. It's always been fans first. And that's because the fans is paying your bills. The fans are the ones that keep the NBA alive. So that's why guys didn't leave the teams back in the day. So I want you guys to understand the significance of LeBron being a team hopper and him changing this whole generation's mindset into no loyalty and team hopping. That's part of what ruined the NBA, because there's no real rivalries anymore. There's no actual team competition anymore. It's just LeBron's going to a different team every year. Kevin Durant has now followed LeBron and he goes to a different team every few years. And I don't mean every year. I mean every few years. LeBron's played on 5 different teams, bro. So, and Kevin Durant, I think he's played on 4 or 5 teams too. That has ruined the NBA and the culture of the NBA. So whether you guys want to act like it's all about, well, everything's different now and now free agency is different, we understand that. But guess what? If you as a player want the fans to love you and root for you the most, you would understand the loyalty aspect of the game. And it would be in your best interest to not be trying to leave every chance you get. And especially when an organization is treating you well, which every organization has treated LeBron well. And what does he do in return? Sign a 1-year deal or 2-year deal with him having a player option, or demand a no trade clause and stuff like that in order to give him all of the leverage in the deals. Which, Okay, cool. Get the leverage. I understand from the personal aspect why that's important to you. But do you understand how you ruin the NBA and the guys that are coming after LeBron? Just like the All-Star game and the dunk contest. Everyone has already concluded that LeBron ruined the dunk contest. All the other NBA players and the all-time greats, even Draymond Green, said LeBron ruined the dunk contest by not participating when he was the most obvious person that should be participating in the league. And now look, we got Zion, Ja Morant, all of the highest jumping, Anthony Edwards, the highest jumping guys in the NBA over the past few years refused to do the dunk contest. So LeBron has literally ruined what we know of the NBA. He's going to leave the NBA worse than what it was when he got it, which is the ultimate cardinal rule that everyone should leave the game better than where they got it. And that's what Kobe and Mike did, and Dr. J and Bird and Magic and Kareem, all of them did that when they left the NBA. So we can't say the same about LeBron, but let's get into this video, man, and stay to the end because Byron Scott's comments are gonna cause Shannon Sharpe to cry, literally almost cry, because he's so upset about the truth that Byron Scott is saying. You know, they gotta use the ring culture excuse every time when they're backed into a corner with facts. But then you have to start just saying ring culture is ruining basketball. So let's get into it, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Often, we're going to read some of these comments,
Yeah.
if you guys are okay with that. Because there were a lot of people saying things like, "But hold up. Oh, wait. Didn't Kobe request it to be traded at some point?" And you know what? It really is kind of a fair question. But is asking for help from your organization the same thing as joining an already established championship contender? Today, we're going to break it down in context behind those conversations.
I love this episode, because this isn't about somebody being right or wrong.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about basketball conversation, right? And everybody's entitled to their opinion. And again, I've said this before, respect everybody's opinion. You ain't got to agree with it. But just because you don't agree with it, he ain't got to be an asshole. You ain't be calling my boy an asshole. You know what I'm saying? But just respect.
Who's calling me an asshole?
I'm just saying.
Tell me who it is.
I'm just saying. I'm paraphrasing. But just respect the fact that everybody has an opinion, right? A lot of y'all funny. I get a kick out of a lot of y'all, because again, you're talking to guys who've been in this, been involved in the NBA basketball arena for a number of years. Myself since I was 20, so 40 years, 30-something years, 20-something years. But you guys who ain't never played basketball in your damn life in high school and college think y'all experts. But it's all good. I respect that. But we're going to have some fun today, Jay.
And real quick, for those who don't know, Kobe was Byron Scott's rookie in 1996, and Byron Scott was the vet and was the OG on the team from the Showtime Lakers. So he's had Kobe under his wing since 96. So they've always had a great relationship throughout Kobe's whole entire career. And then if you don't know, he was Kobe's last coach. So he has the unlimited Kobe knowledge and wisdom. So listen up, man.
Some examples of some of the comments that we got from this last episode was, Kobe wanted out too. Kobe tried forcing a trade to Chicago Bulls at one point. Why criticize LeBron when Kobe wanted to leave as well? And things like you guys are trying to changing history and whatnot. So let's start there. Are the fans technically right, Byron? Did Kobe request a trade?
Fans are technically right. And again, let's go back to LeBron because again, every man has the right to make a decision and do whatever he wants to do. Some people are going to criticize it. Some people are going to, give him a big hug and say, great, on your end or whatever the case may be. But again, it's something that all these great players have the option to do. That's what free agency is all about, right? Mm-hmm. Did Kobe request a trade way back in the day? Yes, he did. And he was pissed. He was frustrated. He never, I'm going to tell you straight up, and Jay can tell you this too, he never was going to leave the Lakers.
Nope.
Now, was he
not once
upset at the way everything was going? Yes. So he figured, let me put some pressure on their ass and demand a trade, and they're going to get me the players that I need to be successful. Mitch Kupchak, who was the general manager at that time, I remember in Orlando in the summer, came to me and said, we need you to talk to Kobe. I had already talked to Kobe, but I didn't tell them that, right? And he basically told me, he said, I ain't trying to get traded, but he's like, B, I need help.
Yeah.
I need help. You know, this man's out there busting his ass every single night, and we know how hard he plays. It's like every game is his last.
Y'all hear that? You hear that, Kobe haters? Y'all love to use this. Kobe asked for a trade. Kobe asked for a trade. Kobe requested a trade for leverage, bro, so he could get the Lakers to get him some help. I've been saying this since it happened, but anybody who been subscribed to this channel, y'all know I always say this, that it was a leverage play. He wasn't actually trying to leave. Yes, worst case scenario, he was willing to leave if they got him no help because he's gonna just waste his whole prime. So no, and he's on the Western Conference. So we all know how tough the Western Conference was. You can't have Smush Parker and Chucky Atkins and these dudes and Chris Mim and Slava Medvedenko and Kwame Brown. These cannot be your teammates if you're trying to get through the West, bro, obviously. So y'all who say that, you really just wanted Kobe to just rot on the Lakers with that bum-ass roster. But instead, he used the biggest leverage play and said, hey, Mitch, give me some help or I'm leaving. And we all knew, anybody who was a Kobe fan or a Laker fan at the time, y'all know Kobe wasn't actually gonna leave, or he wasn't trying to leave. And we all was like, come on, Lakers, like do what you gotta do to make sure Kobe doesn't leave, because obviously the team is trash. So thank you, Byron Scott. Byron Scott knows more than anybody in the world if Kobe was going to leave or not. And as you see, he spoke to Kobe personally. He said, I'm not going nowhere, bro, but they can't just keep having me playing with these trash-ass players. And he wasn't on the Eastern Conference, and he didn't have any All-Stars, no Hall of Famers, as you're going to see them state in a minute. And LeBron, like y'all love to say his team was so bad, but he had multiple All-Stars on his team, bro. Multiple while he was in that stint in Cleveland. And he was in the worst conference. So he should have been able to win a championship over there if he was like that.
So he's going to give it everything he's got. You know, so did he demand or request a trade at that time? Yes, he did.
Well, all I know is this. All you sensitive individuals out there, okay, y'all need to get a grip on your emotions. It's one thing to be emotional, and it's another one to deal with your emotions. And so a lot of times when you guys respond, I don't think it's coming from a place of having control of your emotions. You are just being emotional. Well, Kobe did it. Y'all throw out names. Well, such and such did it. Okay, we agree with you, just like Byron just said. We agree. Most players, shit, I'm not a great player. I asked for a trade. It's not about, oh, they did the same thing. It's not the same thing. Requesting a trade and sitting back going, okay, my boy is over there. We're getting this guy. I'm going to go there because, man, they got the best players. Dude, it's a big difference between the two.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey, true. And to request a trade doesn't necessarily mean you want to leave. It's like, yo, that's code. Get me some motherfucking help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, they tend to forget that things at that time, you know, Shaq was gone. Missed opportunities. Kobe carried average rosters. I mean, I have the rosters that he had. Years of frustrations, wanted ownership to, you know, really compete. Let me give you guys the roster. This is the 2005 Lakers, coached by Rudy Tomjanovich.
This might not be fun.
And Frank Campbell. Kobe had L.O., Lamar Odom, Caron Butler, Chucky Atkins, Chris Mims, Brian Grant, Jermaine Jones, Devin George, Slava Medvedenko, Sasha Vujacic, and Luke Walton. They were 34 and 48 that year. The following year, Phil Jackson comes back as a coach of the Lakers. They increased their totals. They were 45 and 37 that year. Here's the changes on that roster. So you got Kobe, L.O., Smush Parker, Kwame Brown, Chris Mims, Andrew Bynum, his rookie year, Devin George, Brian Cook, Luke Walton, Sasha Vujacic, Ronnie Turioff, Slava Medvedenko. That was the roster in 2006.
Slight improvement.
Yeah, slight improvement.
Yeah.
2007, pretty much the same roster, minus Jim Jackson. Then things start cooking. 2007, 2008. Kobe's MVP season, by the way. 57 and 25. That roster, Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol wasn't acquired until February that year. Lamar Odom, Andrew Bynum, Derek Fisher. Fish returns back to the Lakers. Jordan Farmar, Luke Walton, Sasha Vujacic, Vladimir Radvanovic, Ronnie Turioff, Trevor Ariza, and Chris Mims. They get to the NBA Finals that season.
Okay, so now, what's the key component in all of this? You're saying all those names, right?
Yeah.
Most of these players you mentioned, most of these people out there listening don't even know who the hell they are or were.
Slava and
You didn't
Van
mention
Dijk.
not one Hall of Fame player.
Not one.
Not one All-Star.
No, just Kobe.
And the craziest part about it all is that Kobe actually took this team to 3 straight finals. There wasn't no changes on the roster barely, and it was just Powell. Powell wasn't a great player. Powell wasn't an all-NBA player, and he is averaging like 17 and 9 or something like that, 18 and 10. Powell was a decent above average player, but he was not a championship player or nothing close to it. Kobe propelled that roster full of dudes who, like they said, you don't even know who they are. I know who they are because I know basketball and was watching all the games and all of that, but the average person don't know anything about most of those guys other than Lamar Odom. But anyways, Kobe actually got ridiculed for losing with this team in 2008, even though they only had Pau Gasol for like 2 months, 3 months. And then he got bullied by Kevin Garnett and Kendrick Perkins in 2008 series. Lost Andrew Bynum as well, he was hurt. So Pau was left on the island by himself with those bigs, and Rasheed Wallace too, I believe, was there in 08. But yeah, he was getting demolished by those 3.
Man, y'all gotta stop, man.
So again, that's why he was frustrated.
Yeah.
That's why he went to the front office and said, "Give me some help," or "Trade me," or he might have said, "Just trade me,"
And
knowing in his mind that he just wants help. And like you said, that's a huge difference.
And I
Not
don't
one
bel-
All-Star, not one Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I don't believe back then he was saying, go get me All-Stars, go get me Pau Gasol. He didn't say, I just want some quality type players. It was almost like a call to the scouting front office saying, yo, y'all need to do a better job scouting and making decisions.
Facts. And if y'all watch my video from the other day, and if y'all seen some of my Kobe Bryant videos, y'all see me say Kobe Bryant, him requesting a trade is not the same thing as this team hopping, super team, teaming up. He wasn't doing none of that stuff. He asked to go to either Chicago or to the Clippers. So both of those teams were mediocre or trash back then. And the Bulls would have had to give up something to get Kobe. So would the Clippers. So I'm just saying, he would have been building that franchise from the ground up. But that's not the same thing though.
Okay, this ain't working. And so to me, that it was a lot of that. Whereas, again, with this argument that we're having, y'all are going to ready-made situations with 3 All-Stars. That's huge. I love Kevin Durant's game. He's one of my favorite players. But going to Golden State Warriors, come on, that was overkill.
Yeah.
That was overkill. So to me, that's the difference again.
So that begs the question, OP, is there a difference between asking your organization to build a contender or leaving and joining one?
Is there a difference?
What's your thoughts?
Yes.
It's night and day.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
It's
Because
night and day.
the one thing that I love what Kobe said is about, LeBron and KD and, those guys going to different teams, something that he would never do, right? Because like you heard him say, he said, listen, if the ship is sinking, I'm not going to jump off the ship and swim to another one. Basically, I'm going to go down with the ship. You got to be there during the good times and the bad times.
Yeah.
But again, that's his opinion, and that's his prerogative. Bottom line is, KB was just totally different than most guys that's ever played in this game.
But that's a great point. So people, that was Kobe Bryant. Everybody's going to have their own opinions and feelings. Just like I said the last episode, LeBron is a grown man that can make any decision he wants. We don't need to really discuss
prerogative. Yeah, it's his prerogative.
It's just fodder for podcasts. At the end of the day, it was his decision. When he went to Miami, his decision. But we do have a right to, if we want to critique or talk about it, we can. Just like y'all have a right to respond.
So, OP, you mentioned something a second ago that just brought up a different question for me. You said, your friend is over here. your buddy that's playing is over here. How much does that play into players' decisions on going to a certain team or trying to force their way into a certain team?
Well, that's the generation we're in right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's lovey-dovey, kumbaya.
When did that change?
Because they all became so friendly. Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson were the best of friends. Remember, they gave each other a kiss on the cheek. They never joined forces.
Yeah.
They could have easily said, yo, man, imagine you and me against this league. They didn't do that because the competition was the driving force. Now, these guys, I don't think they have that anymore. I'm not going to go spend the night at my friend's house the night before a game, and I got to play against you. Patrick, you and I are good friends. We fought every game. Every single game we played against each other, there was something going on. After the game, hey, man, dinner?
Right. Game over.
We can do that.
Right.
I'm thinking of KG and the Boston, the big three that they had as well in joining forces. And we're talking about LeBron as well. Those players, Kevin Durant, KG, those players are not considered amongst the GOATs. Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Those players are considered GOATs of the NBA of all times. 3 out of 4 of them stayed with the same team pretty much their whole career, with the exception of MJ going to Washington. Because he was trying to do ownership type stuff.
Yeah.
So what is your guys' thought process on LeBron chasing it? And can two things be true? Can you still be the greatest player of all time, but still go to different places and chase that ring?
Well, I think most of us, especially in the basketball arena, most of us judge LeBron based on the guys that you just mentioned. And I'll throw one more guy in there, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, captain.
And he got traded from Milwaukee to LA, right? So 2 teams in his whole career. MJ, 2 teams basically, in his whole career. So when you're judging LeBron, you're looking at the greatest players of all time and what they did at those organizations. They basically never left, right? So I think he gets judged pretty harshly because of the fact that he's bounced around. What is this, his 15, something like that? Cleveland, Miami. No, you got to come. Yeah, twice in Cleveland.
Twice in Cleveland.
Miami, the Lakers, and now Philly, right?
That's
look at the history of the NBA. Most great players that are considered the greatest, even Will Chamberlain. You start Bill Russell, you start going down the line. Most of those guys play with one team, maybe 2. Yeah. So I think the standard that we're holding him up on is probably sometimes a little unfair because of the fact that, those guys, again, they make their own decisions. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron, like it or not, he's able to go to this team. But I think when you start to really kind of unravel everything, that's not what great players do.
Now, if you watch my last video, y'all heard me say LeBron fans are basically admitting that LeBron is not even close to being the GOAT when all they do is compare him to people that aren't even in the GOAT conversation. Now, remember that Byron Scott just said the same thing by saying, we hold LeBron to these standards of those guys that you just named, like Kareem, Magic, Kobe, Mike. He's held to those standards. And that's what you guys would like, I thought. So watch Shannon Sharpe lose his mind because he doesn't like that Byron Scott said exactly that, and that Byron Scott said that the great players don't keep switching teams. So watch Shannon Sharpe's response here. And remember what bro said about these dudes and their sensitivity and their emotions. So I'm gonna play that one more time before you listen to Shannon Sharpe.
All you sensitive individuals out there, okay? Y'all need to get a grip on your emotions. It's one thing to be emotional, and it's another one to deal with your emotions. And so a lot of times when you guys respond, I don't think it's coming from a place of having control of your emotions. You are just being emotional.
Exhibit A.
What happened, man? Joe, I'm going to have to let you answer this one first. Byron Scott on LeBron James being considered the GOAT. He says great players don't join multiple teams. Most of us judge LeBron based on guys that just mentioned. I'll throw one more guy in there, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He got traded from Milwaukee to L.A., right? So 2 teams, his whole career. MJ, 2 teams basically, in the whole career. So when you're judging LeBron, you're looking at a guy, the greatest players of all time, and they and what they did at those organizations. They basically never left.
Come on, man.
Huh?
Hey, listen. I don't know why they go at Bron so much. Maybe it's because he did lead the Lakers, considering the fact that he could have went back there. He could have went back to L.A. Uncle Ocho. But come on, man. I don't know why he gets the scrutiny that he gets. It's okay, man. He ain't got to be.
Well, because right now they got a podcast. And you beat him up right now, you're going to get clicks and likes, you're going to get mentioned. Okay. Now, he said, the fact of the matter, he said multiple teams. Multiple teams means more than one. Back then, guys, it's kind of like in the NFL. Guys couldn't move like they can now, Ocho. Guys couldn't move like they move in basketball. So I guess Shaq couldn't be considered a great player. KD can't be considered a great player. LeBron, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Moses Malone, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Lee. Come on, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? I don't care if he went to 20 teams. How good was he on those teams?
What in the glaze is going on here? This ninja just said, I don't care if he went to 20 teams. Oh my God. You can't make this shit up, man.
Every team he played for, they won a championship. Every team that he played for, he was an all-NBA selection. How many guys can say, you know what? I've been on 4 different teams, and I've been an all-NBA selection on all of them?
Probably no.
Every team that I've played for, I've gone to an NBA Finals. 3 of those 4 teams that I've been on, I've won an NBA Finals. I've won a Finals MVP. Yeah, it would be great. People always talk about players not being loyal. But hold on, and you said something very interesting. Milwaukee traded Kareem. Where was the loyalty? Where was the loyalty? The Lakers traded Shaq. Where was the loyalty? Orlando traded Shaq. Where was the loyalty? We expect loyalty from the players, but we don't demand loyalty from the organization. The organization says, we're doing what's in the best interest of the organization. A player does what's in the best interest. Oh, he's running from time. He running. He chasing rings. What are teams chasing? Why did Miami trade for Giannis? You don't think they're chasing rings?
Yeah.
Why did 76ers trade for Jaylen Brown? You don't think they're chasing rings? What are we doing here? If you're in a sport, aren't you trying to win said championship of your sport?
This dude didn't listen to nothing Byron said, bro.
I would like to think so. Now maybe everybody's not under that same. Everybody ain't trying to win. Everybody just because you're gonna make X amount of dollars whether you win or lose. Okay, I get all that, but I just don't get this. So now the man can't be.
It's I'm gonna have a beer.
So now the man can't be.
Look at you emotional. Yeah, he gonna get this work.
It would be great if guys could stay like the old Celtics. All those, for the most part, those guys stayed there. And Elgin Baylor stayed there. And Jerry West stayed there. And Gail, but it's not like that anymore. Guys, y'all know that, B. Scott. You know in today's game, football ain't the same. Guys move. Baseball ain't the same. Baseball always would trade their guys. That means, hell, they traded Babe Ruth, so ain't nothing. Frank Robinson got traded. Hell, he was an MVP in the league and went and got another MVP. He and Shohei, the only 2 ever did that. But I just don't get this. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Ocho, chime in, Ocho. What you think?
I mean, listen, they're always going to find something wrong because of the person it is. We've never seen anything happen like this before. We've never seen anything done like this before. Because he's a king, because he sits atop that mountain, everyone's going to take shots at him. The fact that he's still doing it today at 42 years old, going into his 24th season, I just don't understand. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of basketball and have a great knowledge of it the way you two do.
Shannon don't know shit about basketball, and Joe just goes along to get along, even though he could have a lot to offer, but he just says what Shannon says every show.
But I do understand how great LeBron is, and because he's been great for so long and been consistent at what he does for so long, they're going to find every little way to nitpick at the way he's won.
Man.
Can I ask you a question, guys? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Kobe had to went to when Kobe asked for a trade, he goes to Chicago and win a championship. And then all of a sudden, after several years, he goes to another team and wins another championship. As he look, how's he viewed?
He's still gonna be great.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. Man, nobody. If the man got into a scandal, they want LeBron to be into a scandal so bad. That's what it is. They want, because you can't be this perfect. Ain't no way you ain't got no speeding ticket. Ain't nobody ever seen you in no salacious details. We ain't seen nothing. You too perfect and we don't like it.
They got to find a way to knock you down.
Got to. Everybody is waiting. I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people are waiting. I told you. I knew it.
Hey, but this good though. It's good.
Yeah, this is actually hilarious, bro. Imagine calling another grown man perfect. Like, yo, hey, yo. Like, that sounds very strange, dog. He's perfect, man. Come on, bro. Last time I checked, nobody was perfect, right? Like, this is crazy. He calling that man perfect. Tell us how you really feel, Shay Shay. I'm out, man. Y'all niggas tripping. If I gotta put the Russell Westbrook right here.
That's what it is. They want, because you can't be this perfect. Ain't no way you ain't got no speeding ticket. Ain't nobody ever seen you in no salacious details. We ain't seen nothing. You too perfect and we don't like it.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
And there's actually been a good amount of information out there that's negative to be said. Y'all just ignore all of that, and you look the other way when you see the PED stories. And Stephen A. Smith has said some of the things that LeBron does behind the scenes.
It's good. It's good for LeBron. You know, all he needs is a little something to get him going, Uncle Ocho. You know.
Some people got, some people, my mom worked at a job, she worked at Nabisco for 34 years. My stepdad worked there for 36 years. How many people work at the same job forever? How many times you think people change jobs in their life? He didn't change jobs, he just changed teams.
Hey man, these LeBron fans are at such an all-time low that not only do they compare him to regular average guys in the NBA or guys who were never just one of the greatest of all time or top 10 guys or top 20, they'll compare him to the average NBA player. But now they're comparing him to the average Joe on the street, like that just switches jobs all the time. Like, let's compare him to them so that we can excuse the weak moves that he makes as an NBA player who's got a lot of money and doesn't need to do anything.
How many people work at the same job forever? How many times you think people change jobs in their life? He didn't change jobs, he just changed teams. Wonder how we look at it. Y'all sound ridiculous. He's supposed to do what y'all want him to do. If Cleveland was a better city and they could have, look, I get it. I really do. If Cleveland had a general manager like a Bob Myers, if they had a guy like a Jerry West, if they had a general manager like a Jerry Krause that could draft talent, could bring talent in, could draft, and then could trade and get the right pieces, I don't think LeBron leaves Cleveland. He knew he couldn't win there. Right. And y'all already said, this man would have had all those points and no rings, y'all have killed him even more. Now he got ring. Now he 4-6. He went to the finals 10 times. He went 10 times. All right, Michael 6-0. Well, damn, he played 15 years. What happened the other 9 years?
Hey, if Bron didn't get out of Cleveland, Uncle Ocho,
yeah,
ain't no way in hell he beat that Celtics team. Not with KG,
no,
Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. He had to get out of there, man.
These boys lying their ass off. The Celtics had like 3 good years, and then they had to split up and go other places. They was there from 2007, and then by 2010, 2011, that was pretty much the end of that run. So he could have stayed.
Yes, but don't nobody. But hold on, Joe. Did anybody beat up Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen for going to Jordan Park?
Hell, they said they should have left earlier. Hell. Yeah.
A lot of people that beat him up. Even my guy Chuck. Why did Chuck leave Philly? Because he said he couldn't win a championship in Philly, so he went and joined. And he tried to make it seem like Marley and them wasn't good. Dan Marley was a damn good defender. With an all-NBA. Kevin Johnson. Hey, as a matter of fact, didn't Kevin Johnson have the NBA Finals?
When he
almost had him in the NBA Finals. Houston beat him.
Yeah.
They were a good team. Tom Chambers was a damn good player. Let's not make it seem like that. Got Scottie Pippen talking about he better than LeBron James because he got 6 rings. But you was never the best player, Scottie. You messed up. You had an opportunity to do something special. But when you didn't take your ass back in that game and Tony Kukoc hit that shot and won the ball game, ain't nobody looked at you the same since. Everybody saw on national TV you actually quit on your team. You're a phenomenal player. You're a top 75. You're a top 50 player. You're not better than LeBron. You won't find one general manager. You won't find other than you and maybe Dennis Rodman that will say you're better than LeBron James. The only 2 players that will say you are better than LeBron James are yourself and Dennis Rodman. Ask the other all 50 NBA players if they think you better than LeBron. At what? Defense. You're not a better scorer. You're not a better rebounder. You're not a better facilitator. You don't shoot the ball better than he did. You couldn't drive the ball better than he could. So I'm trying to figure out, other than play defense, what could you do better? I gotta stop this, man. Come on now. The man ain't perfect. The man is not perfect. And I'm not finna sit here and tell nobody LeBron James is perfect. He's not. He's made some missteps. But this is getting outrageous here. This man said, when asked who's great, I have 6 rings. Do you want individual accolades or championships? I want them both.
Damn.
When people ask me, Joe, people ask me all the time, which would you rather win, the Super Bowl or the Hall of Fame? I said, I'm glad I ain't got to make that choice. Hell, I'd take my jacket off and throw the rings on top of it. But they got to stop this, man. But see, that ring culture again. He got 6 rings and LeBron has 4. He actually thinks he's better.
It's going.
So under that scenario, the greatest basketball player of all time is who, Ocho? Bill Russell. He has 11.
Yeah.
How many times have you ever heard somebody say Bill Russell is the greatest basketball player ever, Joe?
You ain't really heard it.
I mean, we don't hear it because it's 2026 and he played in the 60s, bro. So he played 50 years ago. More than that. So, yes, bro, we don't hear people talking about it anymore. But if you ask the dudes that are 60 and 70 and 50 plus 70, 80 years old, they're going to be saying Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and all of those guys are the GOATs. So what are you talking about? And Shannon, you're like 60 years old yourself. Don't you know this?
He got 11 rings. He has, I think Sam has 10. Havlicek has 8. Havlicek is 8-0. Nobody ain't said Havlicek the best player. They don't even mention Havlicek. When they mention small forwards, don't nobody mention John Havlicek, do they? They talk about Larry Bird. They talk about Kevin Durant. They talk about LeBron James, Dominique Wilkins, Elgin Baylor. They talk about, when the last time you heard somebody mention John Havlicek? He 8-0.
Dang.
And he got some finals MVPs on top. Yeah, Ocho, yeah. They need to stop, man. This is getting.
It ain't gonna stop though. It's gonna continue as long as he's playing. Uncle Ocho.
Yeah,
he gonna always catch criticism regardless.
But who is he hurting though, Joe?
Damn.
They dial up.
Ah, yes, the basketball gods. It's like Kobe just struck down on his internet and said, shut the hell up. And I'm glad they called their show Nightcap. But it's the perfect name because every night it's Cap coming out of Shannon Sharp, Ocho, and Joe. Ocho don't know nothing about basketball, so he shouldn't even be speaking on none of this. Yeah, man, y'all hit the subscribe button. I appreciate y'all making it this far in the video, man. And make sure you like and hype the video if you appreciate the content, and share the video for me if you can. Salute. I appreciate y'all.